Donald Trump's $4.3 trillion disaster, how his chaos is wrecking the U.S. economy, and that's just the beginning. As you're listening to this story, I really hope you're sitting down. You know that one relative, the one who tells fishing stories where the fish keeps getting bigger every time? Well, this story is actually that big. The amount of money Donald Trump is draining from the U.S. economy is so staggering that you might just need a stiff drink after hearing it. Everything Trump is doing, his destruction of government agencies, his reckless policies, his taxpayer-funded vacations, comes with a massive price tag. And when you start adding up the numbers, it turns out Trump isn't just costing America a few billion here and there. He's blowing a $4.3 trillion hole in the economy. And that's just from what we can easily calculate. The real number? Probably much, much worse. Tourism collapse, a $2.3 trillion blow. The U.S. tourism industry brought in $2.3 trillion in 2022. But thanks to Trump's chaotic leadership, 25% fewer people are expected to visit the U.S., costing $575 billion per year, or $2.3 trillion over 4 years. International visitors are already expressing concerns over increased hostility, harsher entry policies, and political instability. The education exodus, $80 billion. Gone international students pump $40 billion a year into the U.S. economy. But thanks to Trump's policies, like forcing students to go through social media screenings just to get a visa, foreign families are rethinking their choices. Factor in campus shootings and anti-immigrant rhetoric, and the U.S. is suddenly a less attractive place to study. If just half of those students choose to study elsewhere, that's $20 billion lost per year, or $80 billion over 4 years. The IRS giveaway, $2 trillion in lost revenue. Trump's love affair with tax cheats isn't just rhetoric. It's costing the U.S. $500 billion a year in lost revenue. Over 4 years, that's $2 trillion that should be funding schools, infrastructure, and healthcare, but instead, it's disappearing into offshore accounts. Trump's golf addiction, another $350 million. Wasted Trump's weekend hobby is your tax bill. Each trip to Mar-a-Lago cost taxpayers $3.4 million, with $2 million of that just for Air Force One. He golfed nearly 300 times during his first term, racking up at least $150 million in expenses. If he keeps up the same pace, expect another $350 million in taxpayer-funded golf vacations. And this is just the easy math. The real financial disaster is much worse. This $4.3 trillion only accounts for what we can actually measure. It doesn't even begin to cover Trump's dismantling of government agencies, making them less efficient and more expensive to fix later. Foreign allies are canceling military contracts, costing American defense contractors billions. U.S. businesses are losing investment as economic instability scares off capital. Meanwhile, the brain drain continues, with skilled workers choosing Canada or Europe instead of the U.S. In 4 years, Donald Trump is costing America the equivalent of the GDP of China, Germany, or Japan. To put this in perspective, the $4.3 trillion lost over 4 years is more than the annual GDP of Germany or Japan, and just below China's GDP. This is how much damage is being done to the U.S. economy under Trump's leadership. America can't afford Trump. Literally, Trump isn't just a political disaster. He's an economic catastrophe. His policies are draining trillions from the U.S., and the bill is coming straight out of your pocket. And if you think it's bad now, just wait. This is just the beginning. Help me grow my channel. Click subscribe, leave a comment, and share with a friend.